Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Tonight we got for y'all another Thursday night banger. I'm gonna keep saying it every week, man. Shout out to Amazon, shout out to Bezos. We got another important one scheduled up real nice for us. Broncos, Chargers, Sean Payton versus Harbaugh. How you feeling about it?
Uh, I'm honestly just interested to see how this one turns out. Evenly matched teams, so I think the coaches are going to definitely have something to do with the outcome of this game.
Yeah, personally, I like the Chargers here in this spot. But if they do lose, I do think it's due to coaching and just I don't know, man. Hardball, you never know. One week super run heavy, another week pass heavy. One week he's super conservative, another week he's taking a lot of risks. It seems like he's tightened up a lot in some of these close spots, which personally I don't like. But it's kind of like damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you're a Dan Campbell type, go too far to that side of the spectrum, they're chewing you out when the decisions don't work. You know what I mean? When you play extra conservative like Harbaugh does sometimes, that don't work, which is, the safe play. If it did work though, playing it safe, punting it to Kansas City at the 54th and 2, and y'all play some good defense, y'all win that game, it's like, okay, that they'd be singing his praises. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Defensive minded head coach, you're going to make defensive minded decisions sometimes. But nonetheless, I feel like this is a game where he'll show something. He'll have something. He'll have.
But yeah, where you signed?
Oh yeah, I mean, I just think that he's playing a rookie quarterback today, so he's going to have something for him. I think he'll have the defense cooking up something for the rookie quarterback. Hopefully, create some turnovers, create some easy field, goal to goal situations for his football team.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for. On the injury side, Chargers doesn't sound like a major name. Doesn't sound like they're losing Prime Kelsey or George Kittle, but Will Disley not being here, yeah, it makes me feel a little less comfortable betting this, especially it being a division matchup. It's Thursday night, um, playoff atmosphere type game for sure because none of these guys are guaranteed. Chiefs only having one loss, that division pretty much locked up, like mathematically and whatnot. So yeah, they're fighting for it. This is one of those games. There's a couple of these for the rest of the year where it's like, yo, you win this. This is the reason why you're in the playoffs, and this might be the reason why you're not if you lose.
Right. I mean, I love the NFL because at the end of the day,
You
your
earn it.
record once you finish with football, once the football season is over, your record will kind of show who you were as a football team throughout that season. Like everybody always acts like it's the end of the world when certain teams are 3-5, 2-5, but then they just had a tougher schedule at the beginning of the season where it kind of eases up at the end. They might only lose two games at the end. They end up 10-7 going to the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's just kind of you gotta once the season plays out, that's when you really figure out what kind of teams these rosters were.
Yeah, either that or you're like the Rams and you were beat up early versus some of these teams that are beat up late, like the Lions or like the Niners. And yeah, that's just how it goes. The Broncos are on a 4 game winning streak, so yeah, everything about this just tells me the Broncos dropped this one. I'm just going with the better quarterback personally, and I like the under.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just the way I mean, Bo Nix last week. I mean, that was like an early season Bo Nix game, super inaccurate. You know,
I mean that
those type of games happen though.
yeah, and like last week we talked we kind of before the game started or whatever, we mentioned the Redskins and like they kind of well, I don't think they stole one. They almost had one taken from them, but that would have been an unfortunate loss for them. That almost would have cost them a playoff spot essentially. The Broncos kind of had the same thing going on over there in the AFC. If they would have, it was a time where it looked like okay, Indianapolis is about to take over this game. Jonathan Taylor just runs it in for a 7 yard, what I mean, for 7 points, 6 points, and he fumbles the ball at the goal line, goes out the back,
Hey,
safe.
speaking of that, bro, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but like, what's up with that? I feel like I'm not used to seeing that this often. You know what I mean?
It's just a thing, before it was celebrate with the ball, you know what I mean? So the cool thing to do now is all right, I scored my touchdown. I don't need this shit. Like
I don't.
it's
It
just
doesn't even look cool though. Like I don't get it.
right. It's just like all right, my job's done. I don't need the ball.
No,
But
it's not.
again,
No.
like Sean Payton
Get in
said,
there.
I don't understand it, and I don't want to understand it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and
His quotables is too funny. He just gives like old school
right.
2000 early 2010s football vibes.
But yeah, but that was a big win for the Broncos, especially for the outlook for this season. So,
And that was an
good
important
for
game for the
them.
Colts too, because
Well, yeah, right. They were saying the winner of that game could potentially end up in the wild card spot, and it looked like they were about to have a nice little double digit lead, and they got outscored like 17-0 after that, or something crazy. So, funny how shit worked.
yeah, but I'm guessing you're not betting this one, or if you were to bet it, what are you leaning in terms of?
I mean, just because I think the reason right now 61% of the bets and the money's on the Broncos is because everybody remembers last week's games. Last week's the Chargers got blasted, you know what I'm saying? And then we just talked about how the Broncos ended up winning the game. So I think a lot of the money is coming in on the Broncos. One, because they're getting plus on the spread, and also it's like recency bias. We just seen the Chargers lose a game that we had them winning. Most people had the Chargers beating Tampa Bay, and we just seen the Broncos smoke Indianapolis. So I think right here is a little bounce back spot for the Chargers, kind of like a tough get right game, not necessarily like they're gonna be smacking them, but I just think that they're gonna be locked in, focused at home. Hard nosed Jim Harbaugh team. I think this is where they gave us the game that we thought they were going to give us last week. I think we get that this week. So I don't know what they'll win by, but I got them covering the spread.
Okay, so possible 2 point game. Somebody misses an extra point or something.
Right. Yeah. Or they win by 3. You know what I mean? You kind of if you think the Chargers can win today, I mean I think I'm probably going to end up taking the Chargers on the spread, just because I like that team, and they're not used to playing the Bucks. They're not used to playing a team like that. Cortland Sutton might get off. We'll talk about that a little later. But outside of that, I think this Chargers defense is it's going to be up for the challenge. It has been struggling, but again, I just think rookie quarterback playing as a dog away on short week. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I just got the Chargers here for this one.
Yeah, how you feeling about the player props? I feel like this isn't a very good game for player props.
Well, that's where you shine. That's where you gotta. Those are the best games for player props. When you have that mindset, when people feeling like that,
A
that's
lot
where
of,
you.
lot of value, a lot of
Mhm.
value.
Yeah, and I mean again, value, but you know, green is green. So like right, like here, Audric Estime, he's somebody I'm considering. Um, Sean Payton kind of came out and said that we're going to give him some more touches this week. So he has a prop of
How
28 and
much
a
do you
half.
take? How much you taking him talking though? He's like captain coach speak because
No,
he'll.
well, the only reason I feel that way is because he can't play around with Javonte Williams anymore, and with Jaleel McLaughlin. Like I think that they got first crack, but it's like, yo, he's really not giving you anything. Nothing that you couldn't not get. It like what you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. At this point, let's just pick a guy, or let's just pick 2 guys, and let's just go with them. And I don't think if it's a two-headed monster, Javonte Williams needs to be a part of that. You know, so yeah, but respectfully, like let's try out Audric now. And if we could take something from the game, it looks like the Chargers defense kind of was having a trouble with Bucky Irvin last week. So why not try to do some heavy sets, 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, two halfbacks, a fullback, and run heavy and try to get some work to Audric Estime, and hopefully maybe he might bust a decent run, or he might be able to get into the end zone. So I kind of like his props. maybe even if you want to take, we always put a little sprinkle on a two touchdown game. He could be a player that potentially gets two touchdowns. Bo Nix gets him down there. Cortland Sutton gets him down there. Gets him to the 5. He punches it in. So I can see him doing his thing here. Also, kind of spoke to him. I could see, Cortland Sutton kind of getting there, possibly getting a touchdown. Mike Evans had 150 yards and 2 tutties. And the other
See, here's the thing about that, and it kind of goes to like the recency bias thing, because I like how these young Chargers corners have been playing. I just think we sleep.
See, that's the thing. They haven't been playing well for a while. For the past 6 weeks.
So.
I'm telling you.
I don't think so. I feel like with last week it's tough. You have Mike. I mean, that offense, you could argue is like a top 5 offense over there in Tampa Bay. So I don't really take crazy.
Well, Ray McLeod got 95 yards on him. You know what I'm saying? T. Higgins went for 148. So all I'm saying is,
offense over there.
Cedric Tillman went for 75, and I'm talking about players that I'm talking about players that are X wide receivers. I'm not even talking about Zay Flowerses of the world and the Worthies of the world. I'm talking about those big body X wide receivers because, like you said, you like those corners, but they're 5'10". You know what I mean? And Cortland Sutton is a big body, go get him wide receiver. So it seems as if that archetype is something that this Chargers team, as of right now at least, is having a little bit of an issue with. And on the other side, this is Bo Nix's guy. Like when it comes down to it. So just based off that matchup right there, I think that might be something that I'm considering him just to cover the 63 because that's also a low number to me. If this was AJ Brown, that number would be 84.
Facts.
So that's part of it too, and yeah, he's going to get targeted a lot. So I could just see this being, and he didn't have a good game, so this is a bounce back. So this is just a nice little angle where we might, this might be a cash in the third quarter type.
Right. On the flip side, even if he does hit that, like let's say Cortland Sutton has 80 yards, I'm liking. I usually don't even do like unders for shit like this, but I just feel like Bo Nix isn't going to hit that 220. I'm kind of liking his under on yards, especially since I'm like anticipating a low scoring game, and obviously, this is
still 220.
It's what do I got it at? 221.5.
It looks like people have been betting that down. So you're on to something there. But it looks like people. It opened at 233.
See, man. Once Texas gets the sportsmanship figured out, man, I'm on some shit, man. Because that 230, definitely don't feel like he's hitting that. Obviously, he's been hitting this number 218 though pretty consistently. But I mean, we might see a late season slump from him. Like it might not just be the Colts game, and it's not like you're dealing with a worse defense. It's not like you're like, all right, now we got some easy shit going. It's like, nah, the Chargers defense has been balling out. I think against Tampa Bay, you can't be overreactive to them letting up all them yards. Who they play last week? Was that A-Rich? No, to Baker and them boys. So I like his under, but I do like I'm thinking Jared McCain. I think Jared McCain, he has good value at 33.5 is what I got it at.
Jared McCain. He plays for the.
I was hoping you got the reference. What's his name? Vele. They look alike.
Oh, really? See, I didn't even know that.
What do you mean? Go.
I didn't know that they look. I didn't know that they looked alike.
Oh yeah. This
right here.
Don't they look alike? Come on, yo. Nah, that's smack him. You feel some type of way because y'all all look alike, low key. Like y'all could be cousins or some shit. But
That's funny.
yeah, he gets active. Like I'd probably take his yards. I don't like that 3.5 on his receptions, but the fact that it's there, I could see him catching like 3 balls, 40 yards, 50 yards potentially, and that cashing. Um, Besides that, with the Broncos, that's probably like the only thing. Oh, and Marvin Mims. I like Marvin Mims here. I think they find creative ways to get him involved in the offense. He's not a very good route runner. He's just kind of like an explosive weapon. So if they can find a way to cook something up for him, Sean Payton gets creative with them. I know last year he was singing his praises a lot. They really like him over there in terms of like his big play potential. So I take Marvin Mims too, and shit plus 500 for the anytime touchdown. That's good value. I know he got a
Yeah.
touchdown last week, but sometimes you gotta predict. All right, he might go on a touchdown little streak with the Broncos needing to clinch up this playoff spot.
Yeah. Now you don't think that his body type would have a problem against the Chargers defensive backs?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, he's not a very good route runner, but if they could find a way to like have like a
Manufacture
design
some
play
touches.
for him, yeah, manufacture some touch because that's kind of how he gets busy regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's not someone who's taking advantage of a weaker corner matchup anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of not how he gets active. Now on the Chargers side, I'm going to take Ladd here. He's the main weapon. No Will Disley. So I'd probably the question is, do you take his receptions or his yards? I'm leaning receptions, and I know it's a lot with the 6.5. I just prefer it over the yards, just a gut feeling type of thing. Um, Besides that, I wish Justin Herbert wasn't, um, like hampered at all because it kind of reminds me, how you complain about how Dak, you wish that he scrambled out the pocket a little bit more and used his legs. Like when Justin Herbert's able to do that, this offense is completely different. Like it adds such a dynamic aspect to his game and what this offense can do and pushing those chains. It doesn't seem like he's going to really be able to do that. Or I would love his rushing yards, but he still might. He's a warrior. So we'll see about that. Like I said, I'm not a fan of these props like that. You like anything else with the Chargers?
Uh, with the Chargers, I mean, the only person I would probably bet on the Chargers would be Ladd, but I mean, they kind of have him baked already. I
What about
mean,
what about the rookie running back? Maybe
if I
tying
did,
his reception, not his receptions, but his receiving and his rushing, especially if Herbert's not really able to scramble the way he would like to. Some dump offs, push him
this is
over.
where this is where I would go. I go with Stone Smart. He's taking over for Will Disley, so I just think as a fact he's taking over. And like I said, I think Ladd is a good player, but they're definitely going to have to key in on Ladd today. And I don't think that they're necessarily going to be focused on Stone, who is kind of solid tight end as a pass catcher, not as much as an inline blocker, which is why Will Disley is, the starter over him.
It's kind of
But
like a Tucker Craft, Luke Musgrave type situation.
yeah, but now that he's inserted into the starting lineup, I could see him being a nice little security blanket. And again, for someone who's starting, going to be playing, this is probably going to be as much as they want it to be run heavy. They're probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit. And if the only option he has outside of Ladd McConkey is, Josh Palmer, like who's to say that Stone doesn't get involved? Anytime touchdown at
You're not
380.
feeling QJ, man.
No, I would go with his personally. I would go with his unders today. If he's a player you like, and nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you got to call your shot. But me personally, I don't think that I would be putting my money on QJ today, especially with Pat Surtain being on the outside playing cornerback.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's not, and Riley Moss is playing. So, oh no, he's not. That's
Yeah,
pretty
Riley
important.
Moss is. I think he's out,
He's
but
out for the. He's out. Is he out for the year? Because he's not on IR.
I'm not sure about that. But I know he has been injured for about 3 weeks now, 3 4 weeks now. So maybe he's just dead week to week.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this one, who knows? Some of these games that we're predicting it to be low score. I remember back, was it the Broncos? Not the Broncos, the Browns Bengals, where damn, we're at
Mhm.
20. I said we were trying to do 15. Um, I think it was like not the Broncos, the Bengals Browns, where it was
Mhm.
that Thursday night matchup, or maybe it was the Steelers. I know the Browns were definitely involved. Maybe it was Browns Broncos, but that shit went way over unexpectedly. You never know, but I'm predicting like some playoff atmosphere. It gets real tight, and Harbaugh tries to take over the game with his philosophy, and this goes under. And I'm predicting like a 2017, a 17-14. Like I don't think I think it's a field goal victory, one way or another.
Yeah. If I had to call my shot on it, I'd probably go 23-20.
Which is still no, that would go over. When
Oh, you talking about? Oh, I thought you were just predicting the score. But yeah,
but predicting the score, if you're predicting the
yeah,
score,
I'm
that
going. I'm going. Yeah, they're going to get. I think they probably hit the over, but not by much. I think we get a few touchdowns in the game, and then the rest are field goals. So maybe get the 14, 2 touchdowns each, 4 touchdowns, and then it's the field goal fest, field position, defenses, all of that. Game winning field goal. Chargers go home with it.
right? And we're not dealing with the team with the Chargers that where they're going for it on these fourth downs. Dicker the kicker will definitely be involved. So I feel that. But yeah, that's it for that. Next up, we're gonna do like love lock. We're also gonna do a preview for Saturday's games. Yes, Saturday's games. Do it every year. It's like the first half of this Winter Wonderland Christmas little thing they got going on. We're also going to discuss um, the quick turnaround times, 3 games in about 12 days or something like that. Kind of overblown, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, you can let them know. Motherfuckers do
Yeah,
that shit every year, bro.
you know I'm the narrative navigator, man.
Yeah, bro. Bro. Motherfuckers do that
But
shit every year.
yeah, like and subscribe. We'll be back.